Today we will have a discussion regarding properly divergent sequences. So let us consider a sequence xn of real numbers. Then the sequence is said to be properly divergent if this tends to either infinity or minus infinity. Okay, if the sequence tends to plus or minus infinity, then the sequence is properly divergent, and in that case we will write limit of sequence xn is equal to infinity or limit of sequence xn is equal to minus infinity. So there are divergent sequences which are properly divergent, which means there are other divergent sequences which are not properly divergent. So we will have an example. Let us consider the sequence of natural numbers given by the sequence 1, 2, 3, etc. And we know that it tends to infinity. So this is a properly divergent sequence. But let us also consider the sequence 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1, etc., which is divergent, but it does not tend to infinity. So this is not a properly divergent sequence. So let us have the formal definition of properly divergent sequences. So a sequence xn is said to be properly divergent and with limit infinity if for any given real number alpha there exists a natural number k, of course depending on alpha, such that this xn greater than alpha for n greater than or equal to k alpha. That is, given any real number, you can always find out a stage after which all the terms of the sequence are greater than alpha. Simply it means that the sequence is ultimately greater than any given real number. Similarly, sequence xn is said to properly divergent to minus infinity, of course, which we write limit of sequence xn equal to minus infinity if for any real number beta there is a natural number k, of course depending on beta, so we write k beta such that this xn is less than beta for all n greater than or equal to k beta. That is, given any real number beta, you can always find out a stage after which all the terms of the sequence are less than beta. So these are the formal definitions. Observe that this is simply a convenient notation, that limit of sequence xn equal to infinity or minus infinity is simply a convenient notation. So first of all, we will see that we have we will see how these properly divergent sequences are related with monotone sequences, because monotone sequences are rather simple sequences. So by monotone convergence theorem, we have already seen that every monotone sequences which are bounded or every bounded monotone sequences are convergent. So of course, monotone sequences which are not uh, bounded will be divergent. So we have a theorem. Theorem is that sequence xn be a monotone sequence of real numbers. So sequence xn is, let me write the definition, the statement. A monotone sequence of real numbers is properly divergent if and only if it is unbounded. It is unbounded. Because we already know that any monotone sequence which is bounded is always convergent. That was the monotone convergence theorem. So also, if sequence xn is monotonically increasing and unbounded, then limit of sequence xn is equal to infinity. That is, every monotonically increasing unbounded sequence is properly divergent to infinity. We have this example which is converging to plus infinity. And the second statement is naturally, if sequence xn is monotonically decreasing and unbounded, then limit of sequence xn will be minus infinity. That is, every monotonically decreasing unbounded sequence diverges to minus infinity. So the proof, of course, uses the definition of this properly divergent sequences. Proof. So suppose that the monotone sequence is properly divergent, then it should be unbounded, because if it were bounded, then it is convergent by the monotone convergent theorem. So suppose that sequence xn is an increasing unbounded sequence. Okay, then we know that the sequence is not convergent. The sequence will be divergent, because by monotone convergence theorem, if sequence xn is monotone and bounded, then it is convergent. Okay. Now we have to prove that limit of sequence xn equal to infinity. So suppose alpha is an arbitrary real number. Okay. Then we have to find out a k, so that this xn greater than alpha for all n greater than or equal to k alpha. Since sequence xn is increasing or is unbounded, so by definition of unboundedness, there is an xk, or there is an element xk which is greater than alpha. That is, since it is unbounded, there will be at least one term of the sequence which is which is greater than any given real number. So there exists a certain term which we call xk, which is greater than the given real number alpha. So I will rub this. But so we have this stage xk greater than alpha, but we know that sequence xn is increasing. That means any term after xk will be greater than or equal to xk. That is, this xn is greater than or equal to xk for all n greater than or equal to k, which implies this xn is greater than alpha for all n greater than or equal to k. Okay, so this definition of properly divergent sequence to infinity, which of course diverges to infinity, is satisfied. So this implies limit of sequence xn is equal to infinity. Similarly, we can prove the second part where the sequence is monotonically decreasing and unbounded. Now we have another theorem, which is of course the limit comparison theorem. We know what the limit comparison theorem is. So I will make the statement of the limit comparison theorem. Let sequence xn and sequence yn be two sequences of real numbers and suppose this xn less than or equal to yn for all n. That is, all the terms of the sequence are less than the corresponding terms of the sequence yn. Then if limit of sequence xn is equal to infinity, then limit of sequence yn equal to infinity, and if limit of sequence yn equal to minus infinity, then limit of sequence xn is also minus infinity. That is, if suppose I call sequence yn to be the bigger sequence for convenience, then and sequence xn to be the smaller sequence, then if the smaller sequence converges to infinity, then the bigger one also converges to infinity. And on the other side, on the other hand, if sequence yn is properly divergent to minus infinity, then sequence xn also properly diverges to minus infinity. Again, for the proof, we simply use the definition of these properly divergent sequences. So we will simply prove A part, B part will follow in the same fashion. So suppose limit of sequence xn equal to infinity, then by definition, for any suppose alpha is an arbitrary real number. Okay, and this means there exists a k alpha in n such that this xn greater than alpha for all n greater than or equal to k. So after certain stage, say we have the sequences here, so there is a stage, so this is k, so all the terms of the sequence are greater than alpha. But the given condition says that, but we have this xn less than or equal to yn for all n belongs to n. So combining these two, I have this xn is less than or equal to yn and xn is greater than alpha for all n greater than or equal to k. That is, given any arbitrary real number alpha, there is a k belongs to n. Given any arbitrary real number alpha, there is a k belongs to n such that this yn greater than alpha for all n greater than or equal to k. And this means sequence yn properly diverges to infinity. Similarly, we can prove the B part of the theorem. But there is one disadvantage for this theorem, for the limit comparison theorem, that is, in order to prove the theorem, in order to apply the theorem, we have to have one more sequence. Say given a sequence xn, we have to find out a sequence yn in such a way that this sequence yn converges to minus infinity, or given a sequence yn, we have to find out a sequence xn which converges to infinity. So sometimes this is troublesome because in many practical problems this may not be used frequently. So we will have a better, or rather another comparison theorem, rather better theorem than this comparison theorem, which we call the ratio theorem. So next theorem is the ratio theorem. So this again we have already seen what ratio theorem is. So I will have the statement: let sequence xn and sequence yn be two sequences of positive real numbers. Okay, such that limit of this xn by yn equal to L, where L is a real number and L greater than 0. So we have two sequences of positive real numbers such that the ratio xn by yn tends to a positive real number. Then limit sequence xn equal to infinity if and only if limit sequence yn equal to infinity. That is, if one of the sequences is properly divergent to infinity, then the other sequence also properly diverges to infinity. So we go to the proof. So before going to the proof, let us note that two things. One thing, since xn and yn are positive real numbers, xn by yn also is positive, and therefore the limit of the sequence can never be a negative real number. So there are two other cases where this limit can be either 0 or limit can be infinity. It can never be negative real number. But the theorem deals only with the case where L is greater than 0, which is finite. So we have partial proofs regarding, or partial theorems when L equal to 0 or L equal to infinity. There is no such cases which satisfy for all the such theorems, for all such sequences where L equal to 0 or where L equal to infinity. So let us prove the theorem. Suppose limit of sequence xn by yn equal to L. It is given. So by the definition of limit of sequences, so this implies for every epsilon greater than 0, there exists a stage such that the terms of the sequence after this stage are in the epsilon neighborhood of n, that is modulus of xn by yn minus L less than epsilon for n greater than or equal to k. Or rearranging this, this implies L minus epsilon less than xn by yn less than L plus epsilon for n greater than or equal to k. Okay, so in particular, let me choose epsilon equal to half of L, half of the limit. Since L is greater than 0, this is again greater than 0. Then choosing epsilon equal to half of L, this, say, if I call it equation number 1, then 1 becomes half of L less than xn by yn, less than L plus half of L, which is 3 by 2 times L. Okay, so this implies half of L, which is a non-negative real number or a positive real number, into yn is less than xn, which is less than 3 by 2 L into yn, of course, from n greater than or equal to k. That is, ultimately, all the terms of the sequence xn and yn satisfy two inequalities. The first inequality is half L into yn is less than xn for n greater than or equal to k. So this one is ultimately satisfied together with this part. This part also is ultimately satisfied. So if suppose I apply the previous theorem, which was the limit comparison theorem. So if I apply the theorem to this part, so I am applying the limit comparison theorem. So which was, if xn less than or equal to yn, the theorem was, then limit of the sequence xn is infinity will imply limit of sequence yn is also infinity. If the smaller one is tending to infinity, then the bigger one also tends to infinity, as I said earlier. And note that it can never turn to minus infinity because xn and yn are positive real numbers. So applying the limit comparison theorem to this part, suppose limit of sequence yn equal to infinity, then by the limit comparison theorem, this implies limit of sequence xn also is infinity. And conversely, suppose limit of sequence xn equal to infinity, then applying the limit comparison theorem to this inequality, it implies, so limit sequence xn is infinity, so this implies limit sequence yn is infinity. So that is a proof. So the comparison theorem says that, the ratio theorem says that given two positive sequences of real numbers whose ratio is a positive real number, then both of them converges properly to infinity simultaneously. But as I said, when L equal to 0 or L equal to infinity, you cannot have such a general theorem, but we can have, or we have certain partial theorems when L equal to 0 and L equal to infinity. So I will just make a statement and I will not prove it. Proof is an assignment to you. So theorem, suppose sequence xn and sequence yn are positive sequences such that limit of sequence xn by yn equal to 0. Then if limit of sequence xn equal to infinity, then limit of sequence yn is also infinity. So if sequence xn is properly divergent to infinity, then sequence yn also is properly divergent to infinity. And B part, if sequence yn is bounded, then limit of sequence xn equal to 0. So if limit of the sequence yn is, or if sequence yn is bounded, then limit of sequence xn is 0. So this is a partial theorem where, or partial theorem for ratio test where L equal to 0, because it was if and only if the ratio test. Now one more theorem. So naturally that will be when sequence xn is bounded, and this is infinity. So as earlier, let sequence xn and sequence yn are sequences of positive real numbers, and limit sequence xn by yn equal to infinity. Then there are again two parts. If limit of sequence yn is infinity, then limit of sequence xn is also infinity, and if sequence xn is bounded, if sequence xn is bounded, then limit of sequence yn is equal to 0. So we have this theorem also, and we will come up in the another video with the problems for this section. Thank you.